Hi everyone and welcome to day 2. So today we're going to be putting the first layer of the water in, and we're going to be doing all of the underpainting for the foliage and the two sides of the path. And then we are going to be, similar to yesterday, either blending with our fingers, or if you've used the wet technique and you've got the right paper, we're going to blend with the wet technique. And you can see how using a whole variety of different darks as you're underpainting will give you some complexity to your picture. So can't wait to get started. I look forward to seeing you on the lives later. Bye. You'll also notice that I'm putting a swatch of the colour on the side, and part of that is because colours change when you put them next to each other, and I want to make sure that as I come down and begin to put these colours in here that they all go nicely together and they work well together. I did do a previous version of this painting which I wasn't very happy with, and it was because my yellows weren't the right shade for the rest of the colours that I'd used. So it's always worthwhile doing a little swatch of your colours first. So we're going to do the same for the water. We have slightly different colours. So we have OB8 for the distance. So it looks slightly different. You sometimes have that darker line, not always. It looks slightly different to the sky. The skies are more of a violet, and we want this to be more of a turquoise. And then we have OB7, which is much more turquoise. And again, we're going to blend it. So I'm not being too fussy about where it goes at this stage. I just want some colour on there. I mustn't forget this area, because the sky and the water will come across behind the foliage. So I want to carry that across, not all the way, some of the way. I'm going to put a little bit more of my sky colour in here. I'm going to go back up over my sky so that I get my water pretty much finished, and I'm using the light BV7. As the water comes towards the beach, it will get lighter as it gets shallower. Don't forget, you can use the wet technique if you prefer. I think I probably will. That's my horizon. And again, I want this lighter colour to come down further. Right. Don't worry if it drips, it's going to be painted over. And that is the beauty of pastels. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes. So the next step is to map in our foliage and our rock at the back. So I'm going to start at the top. You can see from a value perspective, this is the darkest bit up here, and the fence, and our eye is automatically drawn to where the dark is dark and the light is light meets, which will be around here. For this, you're going to need a series of darks and a couple of warm ones. So I've got a purple and a dark brown, and a couple of cool ones, so a more blue purple and a very dark green. And the idea is that we will just, like we did with the sky, we're just going to map in some of the colours. So I'm starting with my very dark purple, and I'm not being very specific because I'm going to go over it later about where it goes. But I'm just going to get some colour on. And this very dark green can go in there. And you will find when you come to you'll find that when you come to blend it and liquefy it, it will give you the illusion of texture. If I just show you a little bit with my finger. Because warm and cool colours, the pigments behave differently. If they're natural pigments like they are in pastels, the cooler colours look like they're receding. It plays an optical trick, and the warmer colours look like they're coming forward. So it actually looks like there's a little bit of depth to this already. So down this side we've got some areas of quite dark. And it doesn't matter if you paint over the whole thing because we're going to go in over the top. But I am going to intersperse it with some lighter green. Again, because it will give it the illusion of light and dark. And this will all kind of blend together. I also want some of this very dark here. And the foreground will be darker. It will get lighter as it moves away. Don't forget, this is just the very first pass. There won't be much detail up the back yet. Once again, you can either blend with your fingers or you can use the wet technique. And I like this technique because it just helps the pastel to settle into the paper, which means you've then got more tooth to work with as your painting progresses. So already you can see that it looks like there's a little bit of light in the distance. So now I'm going to go on and do this side, and I want slightly different colours for this side. Some of them are the same, but there are some dark areas around here, and in fact I will have to paint that fence. I will have to come down when I do the sea. I will have to come down and just cut in there because I haven't got it quite enough. But this is all quite warm and dark over here. There's not so much of this colour, but there's some. It's very dark over here. All I'm doing is using the same colours I talked about earlier. It doesn't matter how you use them, but can you see how you're beginning to build up the effect of light and shadow? I'm not sure I've got enough pastel on there, so we'll see. So this lighter green in here comes out to the path. And once again, I'm going to get my paintbrush out. There is always, in any painting, an ugly stage. So don't give up. It's got to look a bit grotty before it can look really good. I'm just going to bring this down here where there's some dark in there. And what I will find is I will probably cut this path more into the dark areas along there.